All eyes on us. Oh,
Boom, we're in.
woo. Okay, I'm nervous.
We've gone full
A little
Hollywood.
bit of a crash. We've gone full Hollywood.
I can't believe. Was that a real testy pop?
I think that was. It's honestly, for the listeners, I am very nervous about this episode.
We have
We are
gone
famous
Hollywood.
now.
The rumors are.
We have got Hollywood.
It's so embarrassing to think of. Nah, whatever. But isn't testy pops funny? Like, do you remember it was just the funniest thing in high school when someone's voice broke like that?
That's true. That's very. I wonder, like, if any like major leaders have done like a testy pop. It's like, we're going to invade Syria.
Well, our teacher, we had like the year advisor, who I guess in high school you'd call them a major leader. That's pretty much like the Obama of the campus.
Yeah. What about the year visor?
And it's just
it's like someone in the year wearing a visor hat. And then you go to them saying that you're being bullied. And it's like, no, that's the year advisor. I'm just the year visor. I wear a visor hat. Our
year advisor would testy pop kind of like constantly in like assemblies in front of classes and stuff like that.
This is a teacher that would testy pop.
This is a grown man. And it was the funniest thing in the world. It was the funniest thing in the world. You lose all respect for someone when they have like a testy pop if they're a grown man. Of course. It's like,
I honestly feel
for this.
Yeah, if you're a man over the age of 30, I'd say, who's testy popping, you're probably a pedophile.
Maybe this guy's like, I had that same train of thought because he's like, all right, high school girls like high school boys, and what are high school boys do?
They're testy popping. Like, honestly, it's abnormal to be... Imagine if that was the thing that actually, like, proved if you were a pedophile. So you're doing a speech or you're having a conversation with friends and you accidentally testy pop and they're just like...
You're just on the stand in court and they're like, just trying to get you to talk so much so that you'll testy pop.
You're just a pedophile and you're like, oh, yeah, so basically...
What the hell are you talking about?
Or you're just with your friends and they're like, okay, he's cool. I realized he was a cool guy.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Like, you're not coming to our party. You're like, please, guys. And they're like, oh.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you were cool. Boys, let's bring him in.
It is true, though. We have gone Hollywood.
We have gone Hollywood.
Before we talk about going Hollywood, just a little bit more housekeeping.
Okay. If we both have canes right now and start popping Vicodin, that would be very funny.
I like house.
That would be good. Yeah, just a little bit of housekeeping, and we just pop a little bit of Vicodin and we kind of limp a little bit, which would be a bit of fun. What about housekeeping?
What about House Keating? And it's just Ronan Keating. With a K.
Okay, guys, a little bit of House Keating here, and then actor Ronan is just a corner. And I don't know Ronan Keating. Is he Australian? I don't even know how he would sound.
I don't know. No, I think he's like Irish. He was like on The Voice or something like that. But a little bit of housekeeping quickly. So I was thinking, like, I thought of a way around saying the N-word, just like if you want to say it, you can technically just call someone a wigger. You know what I mean? Like
that's a word everyone can use. Everyone can use that word.
You could just say that to someone, like, you're acting like a wigger, and they're like, "What did you say?" And you're like, "You heard me." There's nothing they can do, and it's true. They're acting like a white guy who's acting like.
I think you've actually stumbled upon something very dangerous right there. Calling black people wiggers. That is amazing. That's really, really good.
And the crazy thing is, literally no one's ever thought of that before. Otherwise, we'd all be doing it.
We would. Like, someone get this wigger out of here?
Yeah.
Like, it's so, and then as a black person, you just have to be like, dang, yeah, I guess I'm acting kind of wiggerish.
You're like, you're like, hey, can someone get this wigger out of here? And everyone's like, let's elect that guy president.
Dang, that is absolutely golden.
Right. Is that all,
sorry, no, it's no wiggers are allowed.
Is that all our housekeeping out of the way?
I think so. I think that's pretty solid.
Just going to turn off your video a little bit. Hopefully the lag cuts down.
Because he doesn't like looking at wiggers. But with which is, I just don't really like looking at at wiggers. Is there a little bit of lag? Is there a little bit of lag going on?
Oh, there was. It's fine now.
Or is there a little bit of lag going on with an F on your end?
No.
A little bit of lag with an F going on Jackson's end.
That's probably.
I think that's happening.
That's probably on your end. So.
No, I think it's actually on yours. And that's why you had to turn my camera off, because you're getting a little bit too excited because there was too much lag with an F going on your end. So I think
is that all our housekeeping out of the way?
Is that all our housekeeping? I think so.
So
dang, it is nervous. It's weird being. It is weird being like a celebrity now. Like, imagine how it feels to like host the Oscars, or to like interview Barack Obama.
Yeah,
that's kind of where we're feeling.
I kind of already feel like that.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel.
Yeah.
But the first thing is, so we asked the Rants the Dirty Boys to come on the podcast. They left us on red. So I'm thinking they should be held accountable for their actions. And maybe what they did actually was horrible. I've had a complete change of mind. Too good for our show. I just think it's unacceptable.
Everyone's saying these boys are terrible.
Yeah.
And then they see a message from us and they're like, oh, we probably shouldn't kind of be too attached to these guys. We're like clinging to that. Like, no. They are actually wrong.
Yeah, they're wrong. And that's the thing. We would have completely agreed with them if they'd come on the podcast and maybe had a chat with us. But seeing as they're too good for us, and they said we would if one of your hosts wasn't a wigger. And we don't really know what that meant. So we completely changed our views on them. Just wanting to let everyone know that they should be held accountable for their actions. It's not on.
Oh, actually, they did just write something to us. What does this say?
Oh, did they?
It's it's like different letters and different messages. It says N.
Okay.
And then
interesting.
What's that next letter?
Is it? They just said N. First one's N, then they've said I.
Oh yeah. And then what did they say?
Yeah. And then I don't know if we.
I'd say that next letter is like make or break. Yeah,
that's
so
true.
What did you want to get into?
Yeah, because we've got a few things to talk about today. We actually got a message from a disappointed fan, as we could probably call them. And again, it's a quick rundown. Like, it was all fair. Like, I listened to a lot of the points they said. A long message from her. I was kind of like understanding. She just was kind of opposed to some of our views. And again, I kind of agree where she was coming from for most of the part. Like, again, we probably agree to disagree. But then she started using the N-word. And then later she started saying things like, "It is why you and your people should go back to Africa. This is why you should have remained as slaves." And then she kept up sending through photos of monkeys and just basically recording herself. Recording gorilla noises into the microphone.
Yeah.
And then she finished it off basically saying something about a Jewish conspiracy, and then I had to stop reading after that. So
I think she was
interesting.
But I guess maybe we back up a little bit. So I guess we kind of had that. For anyone that hasn't seen it, the last episode we did, we spoke about kind of some controversy surrounding a band from Melbourne. Basically in that time we put out a clip and whatever, and this we got some fan mail from someone that saw the clip and was kind of just dissatisfied with the way we handled things.
Exactly. And that's the thing, like, we're all kind of for objections and like critiquing what we're saying, but when you start kind of recording yourself saying monkey noises, it does go a little bit too far. But yeah, for the most part, I can understand someone else's angle. Very fair to have a different point of view.
I guess also it's probably a good idea to say we wanted to talk about it on pod for a few reasons.
Yeah.
It's so we can kind of get that voice heard.
Yeah.
And also so we can kind of put our flag in the sand.
Yeah, because again, at the end of the day, like, we're on board with the whole Jewish conspiracy thing. Like, we'll just let her know that we're fine with that. Just some of the other stuff we're probably not too on board with.
Exactly.
We just have to leave it at that. But yeah, It's good to have a different point of view. And again, if anyone is listening to this and has an issue with anything we say, send it through, because we're all ears.
Yeah, so how do you think...
Some people are all noses. She kept on saying things like that.
Did she?
Yeah, she said they're all noses. Yeah, which is interesting. Yeah, so...
Okay, so... I don't know, do we read some of the message out, or do we summarize it? What do you think is a fair way to go about it?
Probably just a brief summary, just basically saying these aren't really things to joke about and they're serious issues. That basically was the summary of the message. That no, these things shouldn't be joked about because they are real issues. And whereas like my rebuttal to that would be, that's why they should be talked about, because they're real issues. Real issues shouldn't really be left unattended or kind of like swept under the rug. It just kind of, I feel that usually builds up tension rather than actually talking about a real issue. Yeah. At the end of the day, comedy is talking about real subject matter. And it's talking about something that is serious and is kind of horrible, and basically bringing it to the surface, like bring it part of the discussion. We want to kind of make people think at the end of the day. And
but I guess, I guess from her point of view, the thing that her point is kind of saying, but so I guess it's like, no, but we're just like highlighting this thing or making it okay to kind of open the discussion a little bit. Yeah. But then there's the argument of like, no, but it's too kind of, some things are sacred. You can't joke about that. It's kind of morbid. And especially not being in the group persecuted by this. And we're kind of commenting on that.
Yeah, and that's a very, very interesting conversation as well. Like, I guess there are something that, I guess it goes into the idea of what's out of bounds. What are things people shouldn't talk about? Because again, there are some that come to mind. There is such thing as too soon. And that's actually Jackson's mail order bride, who should be coming in the next few weeks. Too soon from Cambodia.
Come too soon. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but I guess the other thing is, like, do you believe, well, the thing is, like, say there's something that happened too soon, all the way over here, has nothing to do with us, has to do with this family. I can think of a great example of something that was kind of life-changing for a friend of both of ours recently. And you and I were, you know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
and that's a perfect example.
We're making jokes about that.
Jokes about it. I just remembered that.
And we were making quite a few jokes about that.
I completely forgot we're making jokes about that. I was just about to say that's an example of something that's too soon that you shouldn't joke about. People making jokes about that straight away. That's a very good example, actually.
Yeah, and we're making jokes about that, and that was too soon. It is very morbid. But yeah, I guess there's another level to it when it's just I guess everyone has like a different filter. Someone would say exactly what we're saying to that person's face. Some people would not say it at all. Some people would think it. Some people would cringe at hearing it. Some people would laugh just to themselves. You and I, what we decided was okay was to say that to each other, but not go further than that because we don't actually want it coming back and hurting our friend like that. But then it comes to this other thing, and it's like this person that contacted us is like, no, you shouldn't necessarily talk about that in such a way. Whereas we're like, no, that's fine. It's interesting because I guess it just comes down to everyone deciding kind of where they choose it's okay to do something. And at the end of the day, it's this person's opinion versus ours.
Especially depending on how far we went, let's say with that situation, we could have gone to a point where multiple people heard it. And there is a difference between making a joke between friends in private and then making something more public. And I guess it all depends. Like there's so many layers on, there's levels, and it differs from person to person of what's acceptable and what isn't. Let's say you have an issue or something that shouldn't be talked about. One person's like, oh no, you don't talk about that at all. I don't even think about it. Another person may joke about it with their friends. Another person may joke about it on a podcast. Another person may joke about it in front of someone who's directly impacted by this issue or this situation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean,
there is this line, and it's figuring out the line changes from person to person, and that's the issue.
Yeah, I guess my problem with it is I mean, everyone's entitled to their point of view, and they're allowed to say what they believe is right in that situation. My issue with it is though is someone being like saying you should I mean, everyone can plead their case, but to be like, oh no, my opinion is more right than yours. You should adhere to what I think is right. Then I think it kind of opens up Pandora's box to be like, if I'm going to listen to you, why wouldn't I listen to this person over here who's like, oh, I think we should be having sex with 5-year-olds. I think we should be doing that. And I'm like, well, if I'm listening to this person's opinion and that's what I'm considering right, it's almost like you have to consider everyone's opinion is right.
I think as well, it's all about the persuasion. It's all about the argument and the take. If someone was to actually send us a message, and again, that's why I like to get messages from people who actually listen to this, send through a message. And most of the time, standing up for something and sending a message to people who believe a certain way does change their mind. And that's the thing. We did kind of go over this message we received multiple times, really try to take all the information in. And we discussed it. We both had a discussion about it. I don't think our minds were really changed. I completely respect this person and understand where they're coming from. I just felt I could understand my rebuttal to what they were bringing up.
And that's the other thing is like, in no way do I want this person to feel bummed out or whatever. I want them to feel heard, and I want them to feel...
Because Jackson wants to be bummed out. Jackson wants to feel bummed out. So he doesn't want anyone else to really take up any of the bumming out.
And originally, I was like, we should just contact them and say, oh, no, sorry, we're not going to talk about this or whatever. But Karim said, how old are they? And I said, I'm pretty sure they're...
Okay.
I'm pretty sure they're over 18, and you were like, oh, but just on the off chance that they're not, maybe I can continue this conversation so that I could possibly earn their trust. And I say earn their trust. That's a bit weird. And you're like, well, it's only if they're under 18. And I say,
yes,
that kind of makes it even weirder. And then you kind of do this kind of motion with your fingers where you make one hand into a circle and the other your index finger and kind of slide them in and out of each other. So,
and then you've got like the cuffs, doing like a cuff side with my hand and then breaking it apart. Something about a very small hole. Something about braces, do kind of like a braced face. But yeah, no, I did have a conversation. I have changed my point of view, and yeah, me and this 16-year-old are dating. So
yeah. I mean, yeah. At the end of the day, you kind of have to be like, I hear you. If someone's saying or making a joke about something too painful, it's not even that though. It's more than that. It's a very nuanced conversation because in one way or another, we're making someone uncomfortable with a point of view. And then it's just about balancing that. It's kind of like, if it was a situation where I'm a little bit less sure of, it's almost like, all right, I really have to hear this person. But when it's an adult talking to another adult, it's kind of like you have to be like, all right, I'm wary of all your experiences and everything. Like, well, not wary. I don't even know. You know what I mean? And that's why we can't be like, all right, I'm not going to listen to this person at all. It's like, you had a different experience than I have, obviously. And we're open. We're open one reason.
Discussion. Yeah. At the end of the day, we are open to the discussion. If we do want to have like a back and forth, that's probably the biggest thing. At the end of the day, we're all ears. We're always open to be changing our minds on things. And we're a big fan of kind of just having a conversation about real issues.
Back and forth, and also back and forth. Also, Karim also said he's happy to back into a fourth grader.
Fourth grade. Okay. Jackson also said he didn't want to change his point of RuPaul's Drag Race. Like, he wants to compete in. He's like, my point of Ru is I want to compete in that show. And I was like, okay, fair.
Oh.
I don't want to change my point. I don't want to change your point of Ru.
Yeah, because you also said you don't want to change your point at Jew because that's kind of your favorite activity. I was like, do you want to, maybe like throw like a ball around or something like that? And you're like, no, that my favorite sport is actually doing that.
Exactly right. I can't even really understand that one, but yeah. No, that's basically it. Again, if the person wants to kind of have a discussion with us, we're all ears. We understand. We understood where you were coming from.
It's so funny because we're saying this, but we haven't replied to their message. It's just like, we just both read it like 10 times, spoke about it with each other for an hour, and now we're talking about it on the podcast, and they have no idea about any of
that. Because Jackson's quite old-fashioned. He said he doesn't listen to women, which is he did like a. Yeah, he basically lives in the 1950s. He screamed as soon as he got the message, and he said, I will not be spoken to like that by a woman. And then he threw the phone away, which was, I thought it was an interesting move. However, to each his own. But that's where we stand. I hope that summed it up nicely.
I hope so. I guess at the end of the day, I don't know what else we can say about it right now.
At the end of the day, we are all ears. We respect everyone's point of view. We respect that point of view. And we just want to have a conversation more about it.
Yeah, we're also all queers except for me.
I don't know where that one's come from.
All ears.
Oh, we said all ears. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know how ears and queers goes together. Here and queer may go together more, but
Look, they go together, all right.
They go together, all right. Interesting. What about I'm all ears and I'm queer, rather than we're here and we're queer. We're all ears and we're queer. How about that one?
It's funny to say like I'm here and I'm queer. Like if you're saying it and I can hear you, you're obviously here. It's like you're just trying to say something to kind of soften the blow for the next thing.
That's true. That's true.
It's like I'm here and I'm queer, and it's like, all right, well, yeah. I mean, I support you. That's awesome that you've got, self-respect like that and everything. But you don't have to tell me that you're here.
That's very true. Very true. What about I'm here and I'm Gear. I'm actor Richard Gere. Run the mill actor Richard Gere. I'm here and I'm Gere. Anyway. Any other things we had to touch on today?
What else did we have? We had Dave Chappelle's new special.
Oh yeah, Dave Chappelle's new special. Yes. Very interesting. Very interesting.
What did you know? I thought it was great.
Yeah, it was interesting. It's very I've spoken to a few people about it. Most people's kind of attitudes are he's just getting less funny.
Really?
That's what some people are worrying about. I can see that. I think that's one of the biggest angles. Like he's lost a little bit of his pizzazz or something like that.
Right.
Yeah. But again, it's interesting. Like a bunch of stuff's come up. Like I think so many groups have kind of lobbied together to have it removed from Netflix. I know the special before that received like a 99% audience rating on Rotten Tomatoes and a 0% editor rating. And I'm very curious of what this one will have as well.
I thought this was, I thought it was great. And like the way he kind of carried metaphors throughout the whole thing and everything. Yeah. I don't know. It's just very poetic, and he's got such a good way of addressing problems and giving a point of view on it without really... Yeah, like I don't know. What really stood out to me was the whole like punching down thing.
Yes.
That was great.
That was great. I feel he's probably getting stronger with his message. I think what's happening is it's very kind of like a smart, observational speech at a certain point, rather than just a straight up comedy special. Like one of the big ones was kind of comparing it to Shane Gillis's new special, where you can see kind of one is very much like, okay, I'm here to make jokes. I'm just trying to be funny for 45 minutes. I think Dave Chappelle, for a while now, has kind of gone beyond the genre of comedy. I think a lot of people, compare him to, what's his name? I've completely drawn a blank here. That guy with the grey hair, the comedian.
Oh, Carlin.
Yes, George Carlin.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are having that comparison with Dave Chappelle, that he's kind of in his Carlin stage, where it's no longer really about the jokes, more about, okay, let me just have a comment on society. Let me just talk. There's going to be jokes sporadically here and there. But, it's more about, let's just talk about things. I have something I want to get across. I want to make people think. And I think it did a really good job at that. It does make you think.
Yeah, I think anything that can kind of entertain you at the same time as like give you a message like that is pretty great. And I haven't seen a lot of comedians kind of do that well.
Yes. And that's where I'm kind of like, I do give it a lot of praise for how solid it is, how kind of I guess, how conscious it is. Like, he has something he's wanting to get across. There is this message throughout the special of, this is my last special, and you'll kind of understand why. This is my last special. I'm taking a break until I can do this without any repercussions, without any backlash, and when I can do this and everyone's comfortable with it, which I thought was a very, very interesting stance and take. He's like, yeah, I don't feel comfortable. If I keep doing specials like this, there's going to be a huge backlash. And I guess it almost relates into a situation where it's like, hey, we say certain things that really evoke pain and trauma from people. And that at the end of the day, it is kind of sad. And it's this constant of, we want to try to be able to say these things without hurting people and have people understand where we're coming from.
You know, it's crazy because I totally appreciate that. But at the same time, I don't want, like, for example, almost what's funny about a lot of it is being that naughty kid in the class.
Yeah. Chappelle's, just this side sort of humor.
Yeah, just being a bit more risky and kind of like taking more chances as opposed to like safe kind of shit. Part of it's being the naughty kid.
Yeah, and we are almost doing a parody of the naughty kid. Like, there are layers to it. We're not just the naughty kid who says something to be offensive. We're almost making fun of saying something offensive at the end of the day.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's where I do find it understandable for people who aren't necessarily comedians or in that world to not really understand.
Yeah.
And to take what people say completely literally, when for the most part there are numerous layers to comedy. Where it's like, hey, we're making fun of this, we're also making fun of that, and we're making fun of this. At the end of the day, we're basically on the same team.
Yeah, it's funny because it's like, I want everyone to accept it, but at the same time, if everyone accepts it, it won't be funny anymore.
That's true. That's very true.
But my only problem with it, maybe this is the problem why it's coming up now, is because like there's like an extreme left that can kind of boycott things. They're not just like, oh, I don't like that. They're like, I don't like that, and it is not happening on my watch.
It should be gone. Yes, this has to disappear.
Yeah, when it's like, I don't want everyone to be on the same side, but it's just crazy what the repercussions of going against someone's idealistic kind of point of view. Like, I want a Dave Chappelle, and I want people to get angry at it.
Yeah,
it's almost like bullying a kid in class.
Yes,
and you bully them, and then they pull a gun out, and you're like, why'd you have to take it there, man?
That's perfect. That's actually perfect. It's fun to do the bullying until the gun gets taken out and someone dies, metaphorically dies, losing their career, being cancelled, not able to provide for their family, no longer able to do their thing.
And there's nothing cool about that. There's nothing cool about that. That happens. It's not like, oh, that shooter's awesome, he should become class president or something like that. It's just like, no.
Yeah,
that guy's a loser.
The idea of cancelling is, I can understand where it comes from, because I can understand a need for cancellation when, let's say, you have the example of the Nazi Party in Germany. And it's like, hey, if they were cancelled, that would never have happened. Imagine Hitler trying to implement the rise of the Nazi Party, and then he gets cancelled off all social media.
Yeah, well, I've got it.
And it's it just doesn't exist.
I do have a joke like that. It's like, like about like, if you're always joking about this stuff, that's why you need people to freak out about it. Because say I'm always like, oh yeah, like I hit my girlfriend, and I'm making like a joke about that, and then like it just turns out like someone's girlfriend dies, and it's like, oh,
yeah.
Well, he was giving us warnings. He was telling us the whole time.
That's true, yeah, because if no one ever calls you out, it gets to the question, it's like, hey, do you actually hit your girlfriend? Sometimes that almost needs to be asked. And you just say, no, it's a joke. I never would in a million years.
I guess we're just working out the kinks kind of in society. Yeah. And just kind of how it can work together. How we can have our cake and eat it too, because it's kind of not like that currently.
Because it comes down again to the idea of comedy, of it's highlighting a real issue. When you do make a joke about hitting your girlfriend, there's a strong element of it that's basically saying, hey, this is a real issue that happens. Think about it. Hey, leave this and remember this is actually something that's going on. The world's a horrible place and domestic violence is a real thing.
And I think that's a big thing where it comes from is like how sad things are in general.
Yes.
And I think that's, you said that too. It's like that Shakespearean picture of like the two masks, the crying one and the happy one. Like it's either a comedy or a tragedy.
Yes. And how closely linked they are.
They are so closely linked. It's ridiculous. Yep. I think probably the people that can experience the highest highs from the comedy side have observed the world or processed it in a way where they've felt those lows as well. Maybe.
Yes, because you've got this point where I think there's an idea or an area of thought of if anyone was to actually think about all the horrors in the world, they would have to kill themselves immediately. If you took in all the pain and all the sadness and all the horror of the world, and if you read every news article and every horrible thing that happened today, you would literally jump off a building. A person who was truly kind of empathetic would have to kill themselves.
Yeah, that's true. I was listening to a Howard Stern thing. It was like a serial killer rung up the station.
Oh, right, yeah.
I don't know if it was real or it was staged, but the YouTube channel that posted it kind of explained it as if it was real. But this guy was like, yeah, I've
Howard Stern, and he has strippers in the studio taking their tops off, and he hides in the corner because he's scared and doesn't want to look at it.
Oh, Howard Stern.
Howard Stern. Anyway, yep. Howard Stern.
So this guy rang up and was like, I killed like 14 hookers over my lifetime or something like that. And they're kind of like, why do you do it and whatever? He's like, I guess I'm just really sad and really angry. And Howard's like, well, why don't you just kill yourself? And he's like, because I'd miss the new Batman that's coming out like in a year or something like that. And I guess like what I took away from it was it's like, wow, people can be so distraught about something but really still cling to life in a way that's almost unbeneficial for anybody. I guess it's just human will.
You have to, if there is something that's keeping you there, having the Batman film.
And you know
have
what?
To find your Batman film.
Maybe the comedy is a lot of people's Batman film.
Yeah, completely. Again, most of the time comedians are lives. And probably the lowest of the low people. Most comedians are living tragic lives and are on their way out. And that most of the time is the only thing that's kind of keeping them going. There is this whole idea that without comedy, they'd be dead. Or without this, the person without this, they'll be dead. Without that, they'll be dead. But that's the thing. Someone who is like very successful at comedy, really understands that connection to tragedy. Because they're there most of the time. And basically the fact that they woke up today is almost like an example of how they're able to find joy. They're able to find the humor or the joke to be able to get them through the day.
Yeah, I mean, we've made friends with so many people who are like, they're my favorite people.
Yeah.
But they're like shells, you know what I mean? Who are like, empty inside. Oh no, they're not empty inside, but like there's a lot of
They're
darkness.
empty inside after Jackson's done with them. Let's just say there's something about them's empty after Jackson's done with them.
All before, maybe they're full after.
Okay, yeah, there we go.
They're full after. Yeah, I mean, it's important. It's important to have that, and it's crazy to think. Say you've got those mega fans of Dave Chappelle listening. And they're like, I love this. I live for this. This is like, he introduced me to comedy, rah, 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 rah. And then you have all these people who are like, oh no, he's like hate speech and everything like that and blah, 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 blah. It's like, yeah. I mean, you got these two sides. There's one side who is getting piled on. And I'm not talking about Corinne in the bathroom at
okay, nice. Okay, yeah, there we go.
And then on the other side, you've also got these people who live for that.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
They're both fighting. It's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a very interesting one. I think even another thing with the Dave Chappelle thing is he does come from a certain generation. Like he is a product of his environment. And sometimes that is being a little bit upfront with how you feel. You're not really going to kind of dance around your words.
But the other thing is, it's not like he stopped using certain words and talking about ways in which he is updated. It's a 2021 version of Dave Chappelle.
That's true.
He's one of those artists who's really like grown and adapted to their time in a way that not many artists can.
That's very true, actually, when you bring it like that. Yeah. He's probably, an example of someone who is changing.
Like a Jay-Z maybe is someone like that. Who with like his last record. Someone who's changing. Yeah, with his last record, it's just like, he's not chasing a trend or anything like that. It's the same thing, but updated and kind of refined. But anyway, we've been talking about this forever, man.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. Anything else we wanted to touch on? What are some other big issues, big things going on?
I think I had something. What was it?
I remember I did.
Kim Kardashian's monologue.
Okay, yes.
Did you watch
you
it?
Did bring that one. No, I didn't. I don't think I could find it. Apparently, it just kind of showed footage of the Armenian genocide, the Armenian Holocaust. And it was like, this is Kim Kardashian's SNL monologue. Basically, it was, that's what I found. That's all I could find on it. Was it that bad?
It was fantastic.
Oh, it was fantastic. Okay.
It was so
actually, that's right. I want to guess. I'm just going to kind of make up what happened. But I'm just going to kind of have a conversation of how I think it went.
Yeah.
So how did it go?
Wait, you want to guess how it went?
Oh, no, you can actually know, and I'll just...
Oh, it was so funny.
At the same time.
What did she...
Really?
Yeah, so she spoke about...
She kept on calling him a wigger, and she's like, I can say it. I'm not saying the actual word. I'm saying wigger.
She was saying...
So anyway, my wigger husband, he keeps on eating up all the fried chicken. Not leaving enough for the rest of the kids.
She said, like, it was just a lot of great jokes. And I guess, you know how they had...
see the kind of shoes this wigger's making lately? Looks like coming out of... Hey, Kim, you got 5 more times you can say that. But anyway, so she was hilarious talking about family.
Yeah, she just touches on all these great... She touches on, like... what? She says... Like, apparently I'm going to be in a film this week. I didn't even hear about. That's the second film premiere in my life that I didn't know about. Talking about like the sex tape. And then,
nice one there, Kim. Nice one.
And was talking about
what if she said, "Hey guys, I'm Jim Kardashian," and she keeps on kind of looking at the camera, wide-eyed. And she's like,
I'm smoking.
Oh no, I was actually going Jim from the Office.
Oh.
Yeah. She's like, I'm Jim Kardashian, and this is a very visual gag right here. But she gives a semi-worried look with her eyebrows up to the camera.
Oh, they just get Dwight to do something kind of ludicrous, and then
she just looks at the camera. It's crazy that was the majority of the humor of that show, was Jim pulling a face to the camera.
It's pretty great. I thought The Office was overrated, but I think it's probably rated just right.
Are you kidding? Right.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I remember it was one of those, again, there's not many shows that really put me in a depression once they're over. Usually that's a sign that they're quite amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember when I was like distraught. It was everything. I thought it was kind of like a family. There haven't been many shows. I think it's probably been Community and The Office and a little bit of Superstore. They were the 3 shows that I really felt attached to. I thought the humor was perfect, silly, easy to watch, and kind of like that whole mix of emotions where it kind of makes you laugh and cry. I think that's always a really big thing. But anyway, yeah, back to this Kim Kardashian special. Monologue.
Yeah, I think SNL are killing it. You know how they had like Elon Musk on too?
Yes, I think I saw some of that on YouTube.
I think it's really funny to kind of get these people who are not, because it's like Andy Samberg gets up there and it's like, oh great, he's going to do like some impressions and he's already funny. I don't want to see a funny person being funny. I can go and look at their thing for that. That's true. Get someone who you would never expect. Yeah.
They're probably doing a good job. I find it interesting when you do get someone like who's just like the richest man in the world at one point, Elon Musk, and this is the richest guy in the world. He's just going to do funny skits. It is a strange idea. It's like, imagine just getting Warren Buffett or some Middle Eastern oil tycoon, and he's making like jokes about being misogynistic. That'd be very funny.
I think, yeah.
He is Al Muhammad Abdul Shadiq, and he's doing a skit where he gets an IG message from a fan saying that he's misogynistic, and then he XYZ. There's something there. There's a joke in there somewhere.
If I was like a dictator, I would just get people writing skits for me all day long.
Okay. So you would just do them. You'd find the funniest people on earth to make you appear hilarious.
Yeah, and then I would kind of just get the act in there, and if I was ever the butt of the joke or something, I'd just have them killed.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. I like that. I like that idea of, being... I don't understand why more billionaires don't kind of do stuff like that, make themselves funny and kind of appealing to the public.
Well, Elon got hair plugs or whatever. He was a weird looking 20-year-old.
That's true.
He's doing something. He's working on it.
Yeah, he's working on it. I guess I would like to see a time where they actually just get Kim Jong-un on SNL. Like he's just doing silly bits, and he has a skit where he crashes a car, something like that. And he's working as a happy ending masseuse, and there's a black guy who goes in there, and then Kim's wearing a wig.
What if they just got people who are on death row right before they died to just do some skits?
Okay, yeah, they're just on SNL.
Or people in insane asylums.
Yeah, he's just an actual madman.
Yeah.
And let's put him in the skit here.
They're just in the dressing room, looking around. There's Seth Meyers next to them. Pete Davidson's I like drugs too, man.
That would be a great bit. I think they could get more controversial people. Again, it's the whole idea on Twitter when everyone was talking about Kim Jong-un losing weight.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, this is kind of strange that everyone's celebrating this man losing weight and looking good. But you find like all these Hollywood websites and publications are like, check out Kim Jong-un looking like 20 years younger. He's got a tan and he's in a nice suit and he's lost weight.
And it's like, hey, that's Donald Trump.
That's Donald Trump. That's true. I like that one. But yeah, it's an awkward area of like, how far can you go? Like, should Elon Musk ever be on SNL? Is that necessary? Is there a point in time where you can be like, yeah, maybe no. Maybe only a certain group of people. We don't have to force this anymore.
I don't know. It's good. I like it. It's funny. I think the like Kardashian one, it gets people talking and stuff. It's good for now.
Yeah, again, I haven't watched it, so I can only kind of make all these assumptions. But yeah, it would be interesting to see how it goes. I would like Kanye West to go on. It's almost at a point like with Elon Musk and stuff, it's just making fun of autistic people.
I was thinking that as well.
It's like, look at this loser. Look at this weirdo. Let's make fun of him. Ha ha. Look at him try to be funny or whatever.
It's insane. Like he is... it's great. I was watching it was just one of the skits with Thingo in it the other day. Yeah. Elon Musk, and it's crazy watching this guy try and act.
Right.
Because it's just, he can't.
That's the thing. I usually find people who are like self-conscious can't act. Actors... I'm surprised why more severely autistic people aren't amazing actors. And like that's their special interest, is kind of completely immersing themselves in a role.
Because I don't know, I think the worst thing for them to, or not the worst, I mean, like they have to learn to emote.
That's true. Oh, I guess, what is it? Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is basically autistic.
No, he's not. He's something.
I'm pretty sure Tom Cruise is autistic.
No, you're thinking of Rain Man.
Kind of like... No, I'm thinking of our boy Tommy Cruise. He's not a normal person. He acts kind of like a sensationalized version of a human being. Even like, it's the whole idea of when he got up on the couch. Tom Cruise jumping on the couch at Oprah is insane. That's actually one of the craziest things that's probably ever occurred on Earth. People don't talk about how strange that was. I think because he was getting married. That's not normal. That's an autistic man. It is not normal to jump on a couch like that.
It's not normal.
If I did that, what would you do? You'd be like, oh, that's a funny bit. He's not doing it as a bit. He's doing it because he's actually excited. There are those things that kind of got lost in the 2000s that people really haven't gone back on.
That is a sensational moment. You're watching that live, and this guy gets up on the couch and starts jumping on it.
Yes. Like, I'm trying to find the bit here. He's laughing like a maniac. What happens here? Oh, he gets his girlfriend out or something like that. I think I missed it. Yeah, he's acting like a crazy person. I think there was a parody of that on somewhere. And he does like the tennis player thing. Yeah, he's not a normal person. He's a maniac.
It'd be pretty funny to kind of almost wear like a Tom Cruise t-shirt or something like that.
Yeah, because he's not normal.
But your whole personality is based around like you're hanging out with a friend at like a cafe or something like that. And they're like, oh, I just got a new job. And you're like, you just got a new job? Yeah. And you're wearing your Tom Cruise t-shirt and you kind of like stand up on the chair and you're like just shaking with excitement and like laughing like a maniac. And people are seeing you kind of like wearing that shirt.
There's this guy on the table. Yeah, he's doing like this hand thing, almost like the Leighton Hewitt come on hand thing on the table. It's a good bit.
It's a
very
if I was like a teacher of a class and a student was doing that, you'd have to kind of be like,
it's funny.
But you'd have to separate them from the other kids, wouldn't you?
Oh, I guess if they just got on the table. Do you think if you won the lottery, you would do that? Or you would be like, if you let's say you won the lottery and your friend won the lottery and they started doing that, is there a moment there where you're like, okay, calm down?
Depends how much. If it was like anything,
million,
if it was like,
$100 million.
well, it was under like probably like 40 million. Under 40 million.
Yeah.
I probably would be, if it was 100 million and they were up on the table, I'd be like, that's probably fine for like 30 seconds.
Okay. For 30 seconds. So even less than Tom Cruise.
Yeah, well, it's almost weirder to get off. It's like I'm up here and now I'm here, kind of thing.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, you've finished doing that and now you get off.
If I won 100 million, I'd probably never come down. I'd just be up there forever.
And they're like, yeah, and people kind of walk past the house and they say, yeah, no, they say he's still celebrating. Imagine like in Squid Game, like at the end of he gets thrown out of that bus, sees the credit card, and then he does that in the middle of the city.
I'd just pay for a couch to be put anywhere I was going.
Do you know what the funniest thing to do, like a Hamish and Andy kind of chases bit, is to just see Tom Cruise and then quickly have like a truck removalist or something like that and quickly have a lounge place there and then do it in front of him. It's like a good bit. It's just a guy with like that black skivvy, long sleeve skivvy, just dressed like Tom Cruise. Because I don't think anyone's really talked about it in 10 years.
No, probably not.
It's just like doing those kind of throwback things. It's like when Kanye West ran into the pole. Like you see Kanye and you just kind of bring that pole or something like that. And you're like, hey, you remember this? I think that'd be a very good TV show.
Oh, he walked into the pole. That's right.
He walked into the pole and kind of went off. That was another classic moment. I do like those classic moments in Hollywood, in entertainment.
It's exciting to know that if you kind of get rich enough, you can be a maniac.
Yeah, you're going to have your thing that's insane. Like you could probably do your thing where it's like you expose your genitals at a zoo.
Has anyone done that?
I don't know. That'd be a good thing to kind of be known for. Like, because it's not doing anything wrong.
It's sexual assault. It is sexual assault.
It'd be illegal to flash animals.
No, it's sexual assault. You can't
flash to expose yourself to animals. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've looked into it. And...
I think I do have a story. I was taking a...
You're going like show an elephant and it never forgets. It's just scarred forever. Like Thumper was never the same.
Yeah. Like we all understand that child porn's horrible. There's nothing funny about it. Should never be joked about. If a guy got a huge TV screen of child pornography and showed it to an elephant, people would understand a bit. That's very good.
Oh, I was just thinking, oh no, wouldn't really work. I was thinking like Requiem. You know that movie, Requiem for a Dream? I was thinking Requiem for a Cream, and it's like a porn.
Okay.
It's porno.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, I mean...
That, Requiem for a Cream Egg, and the guy's like selling his mum's TV for a whole bunch of cream eggs, and he's just like some obese guy.
What a great movie.
Him and Marlon Wayans are just obsessed with cream eggs. Living in like some weird apartment.
What could you... Oh. Yeah. I'm trying to think. I was trying to think. That's probably the couch thing is probably the craziest thing. The Kanye pole thing, that's not really crazy. It's just an accident.
That's true. And it's just the way he goes off with the paparazzi. And you get it, I think.
What's Oprah's face when he does it?
She's kind of excited for him, I think. And he's acting insane. He's probably on something at the end of the day. She's kind of laughing.
What do you think he's on?
Probably he's on a little bit of the nose candy, maybe. He's just very excited.
He seems kind of straight edge.
Sort of uppers.
He seems crazy but straight edge, I think.
Yeah, and this is where, like, watching it, it's like watching a person try to be human.
Yes.
I think that's where, and Oprah's kind of like, okay. And, oh, that's right, he's almost like attacking Oprah. He's shaking her. This is one of the funniest things ever. Put my camera on. I'll show you this little bit of it.
You know why he's actually so excited? He's sitting there while Oprah's talking, and he's thinking to himself.
And he realizes.
He's thinking to himself. He's like, "Well, I can't call her that."
He's like, I can call you a wicker. I can call you a wicker.
He's just up on the couch and he's like shaking her like, I've got it.
You're a wicker. Oh, goodness gracious.
I sometimes think about the extremes of kind of doing something so crazy. And then if right after he got off the couch and he just point blank called her the N-word. Like, is that...
Could people understand it? He's like, I'm excited. No, I was excited. I was getting married.
Well, not even that, but just the sheer absurdity of all of it.
Yeah. It wouldn't be an issue. I don't think it would be something that people would kind of look back on it just as much as they do of how weird it was now. It's not any more strange.
Yes.
If he just called her, he just screamed the N-word. And he's like, oh, sorry, am I getting a little excited? And then he says it again. Oh. Did I just say that? And he just keeps on talking about a whole bunch of different things.
Man, I'm going to pause the recording. Give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Too easy.
Yeah.
My culture banging with strange. I change the game, so what's my motherfucking name? What they gonna get though? Desecration, defamation. If you wanna bring it to the masses, face to face, now we escalating. When I have to put loose asses, lean on you like a dream. When I'm rumbling, you're gonna scream, mama. So bring drama to the king, Brahma. Watch with extreme mana.
If the Rock just dropped the N-word, can he get away with it?
I don't know.
What if he did like a Tekashi 6ix9ine? He like drops it every second word.
I don't even know what The Rock is.
I think he's half Samoan, half black, I think.
Man, I hate Tech9. I hate Tech9.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Hate it.
You hate Tech9?
What, you like?
Get it.
You like a bit of tech?
I like a little bit of tech. I don't hate it. I feel like he's in that world of corny rap.
Yeah.
Where you've got like Hopsin, Tech9. Who's that dude with the braids? He's got like a normal name and he keeps on talking about cancel culture. Tom Macdonald, is it?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Also in that area of corny rap.
Yeah.
But there's a whole who is it? Token. That are like 2 initials in his name. But there's a whole subgenre of corny rap.
But The Rock just made a song with
Tech9. Yes.
That's so weird.
And I don't know. It works. I can imagine it getting played at a gym.
That's almost what it is. It's gym music. Because cool people are...
Yeah. Don't go to the gym.
I'm not saying that. I mean,
no. Cool people don't usually go to the gym. Like, there's a gym person, and you can get away with it because it falls into this area, like dressing good or being jacked. You can do one or the other.
We've talked about it forever. Being cool, they're not going to go to the gym or whatever. They're just going to kind of be healthy until they're not. You know, they're going to kind of be thin until they're not.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, in terms of that corny rap, it can make sense. Sometimes it's hard to stomach, but you kind of get it. If you're like, yeah, I'm choosing this route of like being in corny rap.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to kind of be conscious. I feel Joyner Lucas falls under corny rap. If Will Smith makes a song, I think he did this. Will Smith did a verse on something. Jaden Smith's almost falling in corny rap. Logic falls in corny rap. But it's a whole thing. It's probably just a different genre. If they just kind of accepted themselves and are like, yeah, no, I didn't make corny rap. It's great. It's technically amazing.
It's like a mathematician or something like that. They're like
they're
like what is it like?
It's like metal. And it's funny, like, you go in a Tom Macdonald video and it's like, hey, I'm a 50-year-old man who only ever listened to rock and heavy metal, and you've opened my eyes that rap music can actually be better than all this mumble garbage and actually have a message. And that's literally most of Tom Macdonald's fans are probably 45-year-old plus, like, men and women.
Isn't it funny when you just have like a straight up racist person just being like on a rap? Rap sucks. I hate rap music until you hear this racist guy on a track and they're like, I love this.
I would never be caught dead. I would rather kiss a N-word than listen to rap. However, this man has changed my opinion. It's so funny. Like, it's just so on the nose if you go to a Tom Macdonald video and then look at his comment section. He raps like a 45-year-old man. Like, he hates trans. He's like, how about, I'll probably get cancelled if I say I think trans people shouldn't have kids and I want a normal family structure. You'll kill me if I say something like that.
Right.
It's like, how about we make people accountable to how they act around police officers? How about that? That's kind of how he raps.
That's what Tom's saying.
Yeah. It's just so... There's something truly, like, amazing about it. Like, just, whenever he has a song, I listen to it. And I'm like, this is actually kind of amazing. Because it's right on that line of almost being a parody. Like, it's just very funny. And
we need Tom Macdonald on SNL.
Oh my goodness gracious. Yes. Like, it's perfect because he's so strange.
You know what I want? Like, it's like, you've got like a Lil Wayne who'll like end every bar with the N-word.
Yes.
And now we just need like a white rapper dropping Wigger at the end of...
Oh, if Tom Macdonald did that, he may be like the new king. I would love him. If he did, even just dropping the N-bomb, Tom Macdonald could probably have a song called The N-word. And he'd be like, what? Can't I say it? You guys all say it. And he just kind of, in the whole song, every second word is like the N-word. And he's kind of proving a point to why it's better for black people if we all say it.
Man, I'm looking
at
this guy.
If he does that, yes, it is. It's honestly amazing. It's one of my favorite things on earth is Tom Macdonald videos. I find them endlessly entertaining.
You know what I hate? Is everyone being like, you know, like Machine Gun Kelly, and he's doing like pop punk music now. And then,
oh, that's right, yeah.
And people are like, oh, he like challenged Eminem. and Eminem beat him so bad in a rap battle that now he's got to do pop punk.
Yes. Yeah, I literally watched that video last night. That's hilarious.
And it's like, that's not a real narrative. That's some weird thing that has been perpetuated. I don't know. Like, if even now, I'm like, it does something to me talking about it. It's just not right. It's like
saying that he got bullied out of rap.
There's something about that sentiment that just makes me so uncomfortable. It's just like
getting bullied out of rap.
Yeah. The fact that that's the narrative that people are kind of telling each other.
Yes.
Like,
it's like too perfect. It's hilarious. It's like, it's so cringy.
Yes.
But it's Tom Macdonald level cringy. It's like, this man got bullied out of rap. I think I
think what's so funny about it is that it's so cringy, but it's become the main narrative.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's amazing. It's honestly, it's the same reason Tom Macdonald can get tens of millions of views. It's because something so cringy that it just, people go with it. And they don't even kind of question it.
It's so divisive as well. He's got a song, Fake Woke, Snowflakes.
No Lives Matter.
Brainwashed. People So Stupid.
Politically incorrect. Clown work.
Cancelled.
Cancelled. Imagine if Red Cincinnati did a song with Tom McDonald.
I'd have to, I mean, if they did that, I'd probably find it hard to justify the misogyny.
Tom McDonald's got a song called Coronavirus. He just pulls his eyes. He's like, what? It's the Chinese virus. Let's call it what it is.
What about...
And he's got like, Make America Great Again ski mask on. Everybody hates me. This guy is... It's beautiful. It's really beautiful.
What about like applying for the Guinness World Book of Records or something, like a show? Yeah. And it's like, all right, and what are you going to apply for? And you're like, oh, I'm going to do Asian face. I'm going to set the record for how long I can do it.
The longest time pulling your eyes. It's like, okay. And then just got like, because, I think to go for a Guinness World Record is like $850. And I think anyone can go for anything. And it's like, hey, I'm going to pay $850. I'm going to get an official judge to come watch me. And then I'm going to do like the Asian eyes for the longest period of time. And then make a YouTube video of it. And you just literally watch like veins bursting in your hair, in your arms. And it's like really physically strenuous. Because there is a challenge at a certain point. And like you hold it for 2 hours or 5 hours.
Yeah, I'm going to like sexually assault the judge and then deny it for the longest time. And they like send out a judge and they're like, all right, so I've read over the dossier, but what are you actually going to be doing today? Hey, stop it. What are you doing? And then they're like, hey, they did that. And he's like, no, I didn't.
And then someone, like another judge has to come and like technically click a timer. And then literally have to get followed around forever. It's a good one. I'm just looking at some other Tom McDonald songs. He's got Straight White Male. Right. I hate hip hop. Like, it's amazing.
What?
Like, I really find him amazing, Tom McDonald.
Oh, he's got a song called I Hate Hip Hop.
Yeah. What if he just had a song called I Hate N-Words? And he's got like the whole Chris Rock angle. There's a difference between black people and N-words. That'd be a very good one.
Yeah, true.
And he's like, I don't hate black people. I just hate, that word.
True.
But yeah. Anything else we got to touch on? Anything else interesting going on in the world?
No, baby boy, I think that's about it. I better run anyway. I got to get a feed in.
Oh yeah.
Unless there was anything else you wanted to talk about.
Probably around time now.
Oh, how's the the bubble in your iPhone case. Did you work that out?
No, it's still there. It's still there. Like I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know. Yeah, for the listeners, I do have a little tiny bubble in my phone case. Is it worth going back to the shop and saying, "Can you put on a new case?" I'm very keen to almost show it to you, but then I'm gonna have to get it done at this local one, so I don't know what to do.
True.
If they look at me and there's a tiny little, it's kind of like if you got a knife, like a pointy steak knife, and pierced the phone once. That's how small it is.
Wait, little and tiny. It cut out after that. I'm just going to assume that you're talking about your penis.
That's actually your penis.
Oh, you were talking about my penis.
Yeah. It's very little and tiny, like Jackson's penis.
Dude, that's kind of sus. Do you remember that kind of attitude in high school? Like, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Pause. Do you know, I saw the funniest thing is the pause emoji. I never even realized that could be used. Like, that's such a funny thing. Like, just starting to use the pause emoji when something's kind of like homoerotic.
What's the pause emoji?
I think if you type it in on like messages.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that. Oh, true.
I had no idea it was there as well.
I didn't even know you could search emojis.
Serious?
Yeah.
That's great. I'm that's gonna be my new thing, is like sending the pause emoji to people. But yeah.
Interesting.
Oaks.
Yeah, good episode. We're Hollywood now. Numbers are going up.
We are Hollywood.
Yes.
Expect us to kind of get more and more detached with the reality and society. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, so send us letters. Keep an eye on your couches.
Yes, send us.
And we gave you a new word you can use today.
Very true. And again, we will listen to read all letters, but like if you use the N-word too much and make monkey noises, yeah, we'll just try to say stay away from that. That's probably all.
Yeah,
that's probably all.
All right,
maybe just think about the letters that you do write us, because we have feelings as well. So
that's such a great angle. Yeah. All right, no worries, baby boy. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Peace out, family.
Peace out from the sausage boys.
Booyah.